Silvermine Stone is the first brand of mortarless stone veneer and the only brand that features a patented hanging and flashing system to protect the building substrate from moisture. Silvermine Stone is installed with the mortarless process using a screw, which simplifies and speeds up the installation. It is important to calculate how much stone your project will require. The Silvermine Stone website has a project calculator that can help you estimate the amount of materials needed for your project. If you prefer to complete your own estimate, the simple 6-step process is as follows. Determine overall square footage for the project. Calculate the total square footage of material needed for the wall. For this example, the project will have 500 square feet of wall coverage. Determine the number of vertical linear feet of corners. If the project has 6 corners and the stone will go 3 feet up the wall, then the project has 18 linear feet of corners. 3 linear feet by 6 corners equals 18. Calculate the number of boxes of corners required. Each box of Silvermine Stone corners will cover 2 vertical linear feet. Divide the total linear feet of corners by 2. This project will require 9 boxes of corners. 18 linear feet of corners divided by 2 equals 9. Calculate the number of boxes of flat panel required. Start by determining square footage of corner coverage. A box of corners will provide 7 square feet of wall coverage. The example project will have 63 square feet of cover provided by the corner panels. 9 boxes of corners by 7 square feet per box equals 63. Determine the square footage to be covered by flat panels. Subtracting the corner coverage, 63 square feet, from the total square footage of the project, 500 square feet, will provide the surface area to be covered by the flat panels. 500 square feet total minus 63 square feet of corner coverage equals 437 square feet of flat panel coverage. Calculate the number of boxes of flat panels. Each box of flat panels will cover 8 square feet. Divide the flat panel coverage by 8. 437 divided by 8 equals 54.6, and round up the next whole number. The example project will require 55 boxes of flat panels. Determine the number of sills. If sills are being used on the project, measure the total number of linear feet of sill required and divide by 9. Then round up to the next whole number. Each box of sills contains 9 linear feet of sill. The measurement for the example project calls for 167 linear feet of sill, or 19 boxes of sills. 167 divided by 9 equals 18.5. Calculate the number of screws needed. Each box of flat panels and corner panels require 24 screws. Multiply the number of boxes of flat and corner panels by 24. 9 boxes of corners plus 55 boxes of flats equals 64 boxes times 24 screws equals 1,536 screws. Each box of sills require 12 screws. Multiply the number of boxes of sills times 12. 19 boxes of screws times 12 equals 228. Add the screw counts together and round up to the next 100. 228 plus 1,536 equals 1,764, or 1,800. Screws are sold in packs of 100, so divide the total screw count by 100. 1,800 divided by 100 equals 18 packages of screws. It is recommended to add approximately 5% additional material to the project to account for scrap and waste. The Silvermine Stone product line has 3 main components and a handful of accessory components. Most Silvermine Stone products are packaged and shipped in wax-coated boxes. And while the boxes are wax-coated and will withstand the elements, over time the boxes can break down. The product can sit outside on a job site, but it is best to keep the boxes stored inside or under cover for longer periods of time. The core component of the Silvermine Stone system is the flat panel. Each flat panel measures 6 inches tall and 24 inches wide and provides 1 square foot of coverage. You will also notice that the panel has a piece of coated metal flashing that is embedded into the panel during the casting process. This metal panel serves to attach the panel to the wall while also creating a shingling system that keeps moisture away from the wall. The flat panels come packed in boxes containing 8 panels, which provides a total of 8 square feet of coverage. The Silvermine Stone corner panels are often used in conjunction with the flat panels. Corner panels come in boxes containing 8 panels that create 4 matched sets of corners. Each set contains a 6-inch by 18-inch piece that mates with a 6-inch by 24-inch piece. The combination of the 2 panel sizes helps speed up the installation time by reducing the need to cut and calculate for each corner, while also creating an offset of the panel's vertical joints. The Silvermine Stone sills are used to create a separation on the wall, often when the stone panels are used as a wainscot with traditional siding installed above the stone. The sills come in 3-foot lengths, are 2 3/4 tall, and are 3.5 inches deep. Sills come packaged in boxes of 3, covering a total of 9 linear feet. Silvermine Stone offers additional accessories, including light boxes, receptacle boxes that allow you to provide finishing details around electrical outlets and light fixtures. One smaller but very important piece of the Silvermine Stone system is the Silvermine Stone screw, which comes in an 1 5/8" length, allowing for the proper wall and stud penetration, and features a pan head, which is designed to seat into the metal flashing to provide ample holding power and water protection. Screws are available for both wood and masonry substrates. The instructions provided in this video are specific to the Silvermine Stone product line. Care should be taken to make sure your installation complies with all local codes and requirements. Silvermine Stone's panels should be applied over wood framing, spaced 16 inches on center, that has been sheathed with 7/16" OSB or 1/2" plywood sheathing. Consult an architect or building engineer for wall design requirements on applications over 30 feet in height. Silvermine Stone panels should be installed only on homes and buildings that meet code requirements, including a single layer of weather-resistant barrier, or WRB for short. As a best practice, it is recommended to mark the location of the studs on top of the WRB. This will speed up the installation and ensure screws can penetrate a stud once the WRB is installed. When cutting panels to fit on the wall, please use proper care and employ necessary safety measures when working with and cutting Silvermine Stone. Silvermine Stone is a concrete-based product. Concrete products contain crystalline silica, and when cut, the silica dust may become airborne. Care should be taken to wear proper personal protective equipment, such as properly fitted N95 mask. In addition to safety glasses and earplugs. Always follow safe tool operation instructions provided by tool manufacturers. Some tools recommend or require a full face shield. Concrete dust can cause skin and eye irritation. To help minimize this risk, wear a long sleeve shirt, long pants, gloves, and safety glasses with side shields when cutting and installing material. Wash hands and face with soap and warm water after working with concrete-based products. To help ensure every panel hits a stud, avoid cutting panels that are less than 18 inches wide. Later in the video, we will address proper fastening for panels that are less than 18 inches wide. When selecting stones to cut, keep in mind where the cut will be facing and what the cut end will butt against. Consider how the seam will look from all directions. Avoid corners, focal points, and facing high traffic sight lines for the cut end. It is recommended to choose a panel where the cut edge thickness will be about the same as or less than the thickness of the adjacent panel material. Continuous rim or segmented rim diamond blades are recommended for cutting Silvermine Stone. Panel cuts should be marked and panels should be cut face up on a table saw, chop saw, or other circular style saws. Wet saws may be used for cutting to help minimize airborne dust. The water from the wet saw should be changed frequently or drawn from a separate source, so the dirty water is not recirculated, as this can cause the face of the stone to be dirty. Silvermine Stone is a manufactured stone veneer. As with most other brands of manufactured stone veneer, the bottom of the initial course of stones should be installed 4 inches above bare ground and 2 inches above a paved surface in an exterior application. To speed up the installation process of the initial course, a leveling board may be used. Once a starting point has been determined, snap a level line for a leveling board. The line represents the top back edge of the board. Note, it is helpful to continue marking level lines at 2-foot intervals. This allows visual confirmation courses are remaining level. Ensure the board is level and fastened sufficiently to hold panels as the initial course is completed. Once the initial course is installed, remove the leveling board. The installation begins by installing a layer of metal flashing along the base of the wall. This flashing should measure a minimum of 8 inches tall from the bottom of the first layer of stones. This will ensure that the flashing will extend a minimum of 2 inches above the top of the first row of stone panels. Select an outside corner, a vertical transition, or an inside corner in that order to begin your course and work across the face of the wall, keeping level as you go. Apply a few silver dollar-sized dollops of construction adhesive to the bottom of the back of the panels on the initial course. Adhesive should not be applied in a horizontal line across the back of the panels. Position first flat on the leveling board, water table, or align with the snap level line, and firmly butt up against the corner of the transition material. If there is an outside corner, always start at the corner. If there are outside corners on either end of a wall, start at each outside corner and work your way to the middle. Using a short level, ensure the panel is level and aligned with the adjacent corner of trim. Use a level on every panel and accessory to ensure the panels stay level from panel to panel and course to course. Each panel is fastened with 3 screws, with 1 screw that penetrates a stud and 2 screws that penetrate the wood sheathing. Continue installing panels until you have completed the initial course or worked your way to an inside corner. When shorter panels are installed and no fasteners can be driven into a stud, supplemental gluing, as used on the initial course of stones, should be applied to the base of the backside of the panel and pressed into the aluminum flashing of a panel that is fastened to at least 1 stud is required. Additionally, apply a 1/4 inch thick dash line of adhesive along the top of the stone to the piece that it will be set on, leaving 2-inch spaces between dashes to allow water to escape. When installing panels, adhere to the adage, tight is right. Panels should be installed so that they are in full contact with panels on either side. And on subsequent courses, panels need to be placed firmly on top of the panels below as well. For effective blending on the wall, it is best practice to install material from multiple boxes as you complete the installation, working your way up the wall. The panels should be staggered by a minimum of 6 inches from one course to the courses directly above and below. To avoid alignment of vertical joints, panels must be installed level and plumb. Remember, install outside corners on the course you are working on before installing flat panels. Alternate left and right corner pairs as you work your way up the wall. This will help prevent the alignment of vertical seams and maintain the necessary 6-inch offset. Stair-stepping corners and flats can be built up in a stair-step fashion once the initial course of stone has been installed. This technique improves efficiency, reduces installation time, and helps hide cut edges in inconspicuous areas. Set a starting edge from which you will work right or left from. In the case of an outside corner, install the full outside corner, both sides, up to 8 courses at a time, following the directions for installing outside corners. Never install a corner or panel unless there is a stone or transition below it. In the case of trim, the trim will set the edge. Step flash the edge as you install the flat panels. Cut between 4 and 7 inches off the first flat panel on alternating courses to establish good seam offsets. Cut the stone per the cutting instructions. When completing courses, cutting factory edges is unavoidable. However, avoiding cut edges in high visibility areas and near focal points is not difficult. Care should be taken to plan accordingly. All cut edges should be close to and directed toward an inside corner. Continue working up the wall as previously instructed, ensuring all panels are properly installed. Silvermine Stone corners are a 2-piece corner system with one 18-inch panel and one 24-inch panel that are designed to overlap on one end and may be used for both inside and outside corner applications. For an outside corner, begin by fitting the 2 panels together on the wall. Pay attention to the alignment and reveal of the overlapping tongues. Once you are satisfied with the alignment of the panels, screw the panels to the wall. If the corner of the frame wall is not square, you may want to use some composite shims to adjust the corner fitment for a better alignment and appearance. You will notice that the flashing for the panels do not overlap as the flat panels do. In this application, cut and adhere a piece of self-adhered flashing, SAF, over the integrated corner flashing, covering the exposed corner. Do not screw through the SAF, as this could allow water to get behind the assembly. Inside corner applications can be installed using 2 options. The first option is by using the 2-piece corner system and turning them for an inside corner installation. Based on the thickness of the panel's face at the corner, the tongue of the corner may need to be trimmed to make a tight fit. The second option involves miter cutting 2 flat panels slightly less than 45 degrees to the required lengths to fabricate the inside corner. Dry fit the mitered pieces and trim the mitered edges until you are happy with the fit. You will notice that the flashing for the panels do not overlap as the flat panels do. In this application, cut and adhere a piece of self-adhered flashing, SAF, over the integrated flashing, covering the exposed corner. Do not screw through the SAF, as this could allow water to get behind the assembly. Vertical transitions occur anywhere Silvermine Stone products meet another material's vertical edge. These edges must be flashed one course at a time. When the vertical transition occurs mid-wall, like a window, the flashing from the flats installed directly under the corners of the opening should be cut to fit tightly around the bottom and vertical edge of the opening. The seam must be sealed to do this. When a factory edge is used, flashing offset that creates the breathe holes must be flashed over to the vertical transition. These will require supplemental flashing. Use an 8" by 6" piece of SAF to seal vertical edge of the panel's flashing. Expose house wrap and the seam of the transition material where it mates with the wrap substrate. Repeat this process for each course abutting the vertical edge as you work your way up the wall. This is called step flashing, and if done properly, will seal the edge of Silvermine's integrated flashing system. When a cut panel is used and the cut edge will butt the transition material, the panel's flashing should adjoin tightly to the junction of the vertical edge and the sheathing. This joint must be sealed following the same techniques used to vertically terminate initial flashing. As a reminder, if you have to remove a screw and put it into a new location, make sure you go back and cover the screw hole with a piece of SAF. Install drip cap flashing over the integrated flashing of the final course of panels or sills after they have been fastened securely to the structure. Apply a strip of recommended 6" SAF over the length of the vertical leg of the drip cap. Install the upper cladding as per the manufacturer's installation instructions. When used as a wainscoting cap, the 36" sill piece is installed directly on top of the last course of stone veneer panels. Install the sill before installing cladding material above. This will ensure the integrated flashing lays behind the cladding material above. Apply an 8" strip of SAF over the sill's integrated flashing, covering all gaps and house wrap. The sill is now prepared to be matted with transition cladding. Follow installation instructions from the cladding's manufacturer. Remove the trim board and cut the bottoms of the panels, or in the case of a sill, the bottom of the panels below the sills. So the cut panel or the cut panel plus the sill will fit with room for the trim board and an expansion gap. Trim the integrated flashing of the last panel so it adjoins the window frame. Dry fit with the trim board. Apply a bead of bedding sealant where the bottom of the opening meets the sheathing. Bed the top edge of integrated flashing into sealant and fasten panels or sills as per fastening instructions. Apply SAF over integrated flashing. If installing panels, install drip edge. Apply SAF over integrated flashing and drip edge of opening before replacing trim. Seal edges of trim and replace trim. No drip edge, fill 3/8" gap with backer rod and sealant. Cut supplemental unpainted aluminum flashing to fit snugly against the bottom edge of the opening, covering visible breathe holes. Bend the sill flashing back on itself so the flashing folds down and is flush with the back of the sill. Trim the top of a modified panel to fit in the gap between the last full panel and the sill. Dry fit all parts to ensure tight fit, leaving a 3/8" gap between sill and opening. Apply a bead of bedding sealant where the bottom of the opening meets the sheathing. Bed the top edge of supplemental unpainted aluminum flashing into sealant and fasten securely with Silvermine's approved application screws. Leave a 3/8" gap between sill and window frame. Apply 3/8" thick quarter-size dollops of construction adhesive every 6 to 8 inches to the aluminum flashing behind the sill. Position sill and fashion integrated flashing to wall under the sill. You may have to tilt the sill up though to install the fasteners through the integrated aluminum flashing. Apply 3/8" thick quarter-size dollops of construction adhesive every 6 to 8 inches to the aluminum flashing behind the modified panel, to the top of the panel below the modified panel, and to the sill where the modified panel will contact the sill. Position modified panel below sill and press stone into place, ensuring good contact with adhesive. If modified panel is secure and contacting adhesive on all 3 sides, there is no need to face fasten the modified panel. If not, face fasten the modified panel. Fill 3/8" gap between sill and the window frame with backer rod and sealant. Trim flashing on second to last course under window so flashing adjoins against the bottom edge of the window. Apply a bead of sealant to the edge of the window. Install unpainted aluminum flashing, covering all exposed areas and bedding to the top edge into the sealant and securely fastening flashing to the wall. This will be the base for the adhesive that holds the modified panel in place. Trim flashing off the panel that will mount directly beneath the opening. Cut drip cap so it fits over the modified panel. Cut panel lengthwise so there is just enough room for panel to fit into the space with room for backer rod. Dry fit all parts, leaving a 3/16 inch gap between panel and bottom of the window.
Apply 3/8 inch thick dollops of construction adhesive or 3/8 inch thick vertical lines of construction adhesive every 6 to 8 inches to the metal flashing that the modified panel will cover.
Apply a 1/4 inch thick dashed line of adhesive along the top of the stone the modified panel will be set on, leaving space between dashes to allow water to escape. Press panel into place, ensuring good contact with adhesive. Silvermine does not guarantee waterproofing when installing panels or sills in these situations, as keeping water from behind the Silvermine paneling is entirely dependent on how the trim has been installed and waterproofed. Silvermine's best recommendation in these situations includes trim flashing on second to last course under opening so flashing adjoins against the bottom edge of the opening. This video is for demonstration purposes only. For more specifics on Silvermine Stone installations and wall diagrams, visit silverminestone.com.